I'm gonna record. Hey, geez. Hello, guys, and welcome to the part of your Broadway World podcast.
In this episode, we will be talking about our favorite musical, Jagged Little Pill. Jagged Little Pill is a jukebox musical based on Alanis Morissette's music, and it's named after the album from the 90s, also titled Jagged Little Pill. However, it does use songs from different albums and EPs, and even has one song that was written specifically for the musical, which is titled Predator.
Wait, what was I talking about again?
Now you're talking about Diane, Diablo, and CD.
Mhm.
So right. So
The creative.
Diablo is the writer. Diane is the not producer. Diane is the director, and then CD is the choreographer.
The musical was directed by Diane Paulus. Okay, let's pause. The show was created by Diablo Cody. The show was also directed by Diane Paulus, and it was choreographed by the one, the only City Larby. Which I just think, City Larby, even Diane Paulus and Diablo Cody, they're geniuses to even have that idea, to have that idea. I think
to be able to pack so many topics into a 2-hour musical.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean the play itself, like not the play, the musical itself, it really packs like these really deep conversations, all of these topics are so important that nobody seems to talk about. It really talks. It's mainly about sexual assault. At least I think so, because it centers around
some of the topics are drug abuse, substances, sexual assault, interracial adoption, racism, LGBTQ, perfectionism, pornography, social justice.
Crisis. Yep, identity crisis, all that jazz.
And just growing up in today's world, which is interesting because when reading reviews from its ART, American Repertory Theater, previews, people are like, this show is so 2018. Mm-hmm. Why is it also so 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and 2023? Why is it still relevant with all of the bad things happening?
Right, and I really love how it's so relevant, and I also love the impact it leaves when you walk out of the theater at the end of the show. Like, it leaves you thinking.
Something I found interesting is I think some people can't catch on to the show. So I've watched it 7 times. I don't remember the first 2 times watching it, because the first 2 times watching it, I'm still figuring out, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's happening here? So I thought that Uninvited, the overdose sequence, that MJ had split into 3 people. And then the second time I'm like, oh, that's not 3 people. That's Bella.
Yeah. Yes. And just because I went to go see the tour, and even the tour, I was watching the show, and then I look over, and there's a 90-year-old woman rocking out to Alanis Morissette, and then and then at the end, I overhear her saying like that was like the best production I've ever seen. Like,
yeah,
I love it so much.
That's great. Yeah. Shall we go on to our next topic, which I will figure out what it is right now? Plot. Okay, you ready? So the plot centers around the Healy family and then the influential people in their lives as the seemingly perfect Connecticut family cracks and starts to show like what's going on in their lives. So whether it's pornography addiction, drug addiction, dealing with struggling to find identity, or dating or cheating on people, it all comes out as something happens at a party that their children attend, and it kind of, the whole town starts to unravel as lives unravel. And then in the end, it has a very nice moment of it's been a year since the show started. And so the show starts with Mary Jane Healy, MJ, writing the Christmas letter where she talks about her husband, Steve, and her daughter, Frankie, and her son, Nick, who recently got into Harvard. Woo! And then at the end, she's writing her next Christmas letter. And it's like, things are not perfect, but they're better.
Yeah.
And they won't be perfect, but it will be better.
And especially with like Nick's character, I love how like that like MJ's dynamic with him is. It's like as soon as he gets accepted, it almost feels like his life is kind of changing really, really fast, and he's like, I don't think I want to be perfect anymore. Like, I don't think this is what I want. And at least that's my interpretation of Nick. Like I got this thing, but why don't I feel like happy about it? And
because it wasn't really his thing. It was his mom's thing. And so like he finds that, and he's like, he hadn't been a person before the party incident, where he now needs to figure out, why didn't I do something, and how could I have done something and not doing something.
Right, exactly. And even with Frankie's character, I love that dynamic too, because it really showcases like, you know, I'm adopted, like I don't fit in, like I have like this predominantly white family, and I am like the only black one, and even in this town.
The same thing happened with my brother. My little brother is adopted. We're all white. He's black. According to the Jagged Little Pill coffee table book, which we will be talking about later, apparently we did do better than MJ in raising him, but it's still hard, and it's still tricky as he's getting older. He's 10 right now, and he's like, why do you guys have that skin color and I don't? And so for a while, ever since he was little, he would not wear short sleeve shirts and shorts because he was trying to hide his skin color, which is really sad.
And I think with Frankie, especially with like the dynamic between Frankie, MJ, and Steve, like Steve and MJ, mostly Steve, because MJ's not really around, because mostly MJ actually, because Steve is never really around because he's busy at work all the time.
There was a thing. So in the show Jagged Little Pill, Frankie cheats on her partner Joe, and to date a guy named Phoenix, who's like the new kid, mysterious, probably carries around an acoustic guitar. But I saw somebody talk about how they wish that Phoenix was played by a person of color, because then it would be her picking between her queerness and her blackness. And so it wouldn't be like, okay, so Frankie's leaving her partner for a white guy. it would, because then that makes significantly less sense. But that, like, not less sense, but what they were saying is really smart. And I'm going to send you that video because they said it better than I could ever say it.
Yeah.
Should we talk?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think that the dynamic between Frankie, Joe, and Phoenix, I personally don't like Phoenix. I don't like Phoenix. I don't like Phoenix. And I'll tell you why. And I have a reason why. It's because I feel like I feel like Joe has been there for Frankie through everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a part in Jagged where she runs off to New York and Phoenix leaves her and so she's forced.
Okay. Phoenix does not necessarily, this is my take on it as someone who has had like crazy shit with the medical system. Phoenix's sister Ruby is extremely sick.
Yeah.
And so they're having a medical emergency and he needs to help. And Frankie's like, no, you should just come here. He was not able to come here. So I don't think he's necessarily in the wrong. Right. But Phoenix is a character in the musical and in the books has never done something wrong necessarily.
Yeah. And it was never malicious, you know what I mean? Like, but like my point is like, you know, he's like she's like, I love you, and then he doesn't say it back, and then they get into this fight, and then she ends up calling Joe to come pick her up. And I think that's where it kind of gets a little bit messy. Because I don't think that Frankie should have been in a quote unquote relationship with Joe and Phoenix at the same time.
Yeah.
That's where I think
the thing is Phoenix didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And so Phoenix's reasoning to not say I love you, you see like the first thing, it's like, are you dating her?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not important. So that could be why he doesn't say I love you. Yeah. And like a lot of it, I think a lot of it in that scene was going on in Frankie's head instead of Phoenix's mouth.
And I think that Joe and Phoenix both could have done better. I just did not like. It was good for the story, but Frankie is just a bad person in my opinion.
Frankie is a learning person.
Yeah.
She's still learning how to interact with people and how to live. She's just a teenager. They're all just teenagers. So I don't think in that show we can label anyone as a bad person except for he who shall not be named. Yeah. Andrew, you, as I like to call him.
You.
Yeah. No.
You.
Yeah. So I like that in that show they all have their good things, but then they all have their bad things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make Frankie a bad person, and it doesn't make, like, Joe's done bad things.
Yeah.
Everybody's done bad things.
And I love how they showcase, you know, Andrew and Bella's like kind of not relationship, but like kind of like their meeting and then what happens to her, you know. And I love the fact too that like when that happens to Bella, like it really showcases like what really happens when that happens to somebody. Nobody ever believes a person when it happens.
That was not their first meeting.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing. So something that's really interesting is to look at the Lancers. I really like, because I was able to see the show so many times live, I would pick like a different person to watch. And so when you watch the party scene, you see a lot of stuff going on that's not necessarily addressed or highlighted, but you can see like the manipulation and like so then like Lily, an ensemble character, gets jealous and they talk about this in the book, and then like just like tries to steal Nick, and then like Nick doesn't know what's going on, leaves them alone, and then it's really interesting to watch Lancer's party. So I have studied it. That was not their first time meeting, however, in the school scene.
Yeah. And I also love that in the book, and not in the novel, but in the big book, they have like all those resources for people.
Yeah.
So
the book has some of the best graphics ever, because it's just really great, because they have like adoption papers, drug prescriptions. It's just a really nice visual book.
And in the middle of the book, there's like the couch.
Yep, and the pamphlet.
And the pamphlet, and I love that they added the pamphlet, because I think it's important for people to have those resources.
Yes.
So if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, just know that there are resources.
There are resources. We can put like in the bio or whatever a list of resources that like specifically relate to what Jagged Little Pill puts out. Would you like to get on to the Broadway run?
Oh yes. So the Broadway run started in 2019.
Start at ART, then go to Broadway.
Okay, all right. So it started its first previews in ART in Boston, and at ART, which is American Repertory Theater. And it started in 2017. Had like I think like I don't know how many months that they were.
I don't know either.
So they were there for a couple months, and then in 2019 they started at the Broadhurst Theater in New York City, and then then COVID hit in 2020, so they shut down. And then
October
2021 they started back up again, only to like couple months later be like permanently shut down because no one was buying tickets.
No, it was also COVID cases. It was Omicron.
Oh yeah, COVID cases too. Like everyone in the cast got COVID, and I remember when I met Sean, he even said, he's like, yeah, we didn't even expect it. Like every single person in the entire cast got COVID at the same time. And it's sad. But the Broadway cast includes Lauren Patton as Jo, MJ as
Elizabeth
Stanley as MJ.
Mary
Yeah, but then also Heidi Blickenstaff shared that role with Elizabeth Stanley in like 2021 or something like that.
Yes, at the reopening.
Yeah. And then Sean Allen Krill played
Steve
Healy, and then Antonio Cipriano with Phoenix, and Catherine Gallagher, our very own Catherine Gallagher, was Bella. And I loved her so much as Bella, I gotta tell you.
Yeah. Also, because it seems we missed a couple. I just forgot her last name. It's in the notes. Derek Klena originated the role of Nick, and now his little brother Dylan does it. And then Celia Rose Gooding played Frankie in the original, and then
she left, and then Morgan Dudley played her.
Yes.
Which, getting back to Derek Klena playing Nick, like I love the fact that his twin brother.
They're not twins.
They said that they were twins.
They're not twins.
They have to be. They look identical.
They don't.
Don't.
No. I promise you, they are not twins. Dylan is 24. They are much younger. He's much younger.
Age-wise, that doesn't matter. I'm talking about
but
like
they're
looking
actually not
alike.
twins. Their performances are different. They look different. I promise you, I know this. I specialize in the tour. Please.
I'm cutting this out. Okay. Like the fact that Dylan is Nick, like I love Dylan as Nick, and it was so fun. It was so good. It was so good that they picked him. That they picked him as Nick because they're brothers. They look almost identical, and so it wouldn't have been a big change.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, they do look a little bit different. I feel like we have to acknowledge that.
I mean, a little bit, but like they're not like identical twins, but like they even they did say like we're twins, but like we're not identical.
Yeah, but not twins age-wise. I just have to.
Not twins age-wise, no, yeah.
Okay, what else do you know about Broadway?
I know that it started like
talk about Lauren Patton. That's something you're really good at.
Okay. I know that Lauren Patton originated the role of Joe to begin with. That a lot of people have said that Ezra did, but that's not true. If you look it up,
it's not true. Ezra is the understudy, but they did base some of Joe's plot line off of Ezra.
Because Lauren Patton was from the beginning. The original cast on the Broadway run was there from the very beginning of when it was like being like created.
Did you know that during the first readings they had Idina Menzel play MJ?
Yeah, I did, and I think that is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I kind of really wish that that she would have been MJ, because like that would have been so cool.
Yeah. Elsa, what are you doing here?
That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Just have Elphaba, like just have Elphaba as like a drug addicted mom.
Yes. Do you want to hear a fun fact about the character of Bella?
Yeah.
So Catherine Gallagher originally auditioned for what is the Lily Coffee Mom role, originally done by Jane Bruce and then done by Delaney Brown. But they were like, we want you to read for this featured ensemble. So the character of Bella started with only a monologue and then grew and grew and grew to be one of the leading characters, which is very fun.
Yeah. I love Delaney as Bella too. Like I think she really fits that character.
The thing is, she hasn't performed as Bella yet.
I know.
She's
performed as MJ a lot too.
She's performed as MJ a lot. So Allison had done 200 performances, over 200 performances straight without missing any shows.
Yeah.
So like that's absurd, especially for such a hard character, without missing a show. Yeah. So like Delaney recently got her first ever put in.
And I think too, like it was really weird too because Jade McLeod, who plays Jo on tour, she's never missed a performance either. But then she's missed a couple because of something. I don't know what.
San Francisco. They. Jade uses they them pronouns.
Yeah.
Jade got COVID in San Francisco, which was the second city.
they weren't in East Lansing either, because I remember when I went to go see them in East Lansing.
Yeah.
Sid was
no, they have missed quite a bit of performances. The only ones who at the 200 show mark hadn't missed any performances was the prop supervisor, Jenna the dancer, and Allison.
Jenna left recently.
Jenna did left. So right now we are at a point in the show where a lot of the characters, we do not know who will be playing them for a lot of the ensemble. I think the ensemble contract recently ended.
Yeah.
So I believe they're going on a break after Boston, and then they're coming back in like a month. So I really hope they update their website, because they haven't updated their website in a long time, because like a lot of these characters, we don't know like who's playing them.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very interesting.
Overall, I would really rate this as like a 10 out of 10 musical. Like it needs to be seen. It needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. It needs to be lived.
It's so relevant that you can find any character that you're like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, because I remember when I first saw Joe on stage, I was like, that's me. That is me.
Yeah.
That's why I relate to Joe's character so much, because it's me.
You can find the similarities. Yeah. And that's
I really feel for the person that like sees similarities in MJ. I really feel that for the person that feels that.
Yeah. But it's like, it doesn't have to be like it all these characters have so much going on, and you don't have to be addicted to drugs to relate to MJ. That's like kind of the thing. Can we talk tour statistics?
Sure.
Because that's on our thing. So the tour of Jagged Little Pill is currently running across America and Canada. It opened in September at the Pantages Theater in Los Angeles, and that is where I first saw it, and then I've seen it also in San Francisco and Chicago. The cast features Heidi Blickenstaff, who did MJ on Broadway for a little bit. Lauren Chanel plays Frankie. Chris Hoax, whatever. He plays Sean, not Sean. He plays Steve. Dylan Scott Plena plays Nick. His brother played Nick in Broadway. Jane McLeod plays Joe, and Allison Shepard plays Bella. In the ensemble, we had, this is from the original cast. A lot of people have left. Lee H. Alexander, Delaney Brown, Maya J. Christian, Jada Simone Clark, Lonnie Corson, Claire Cross, Sean Doherty, Rishi Galani, Jason Goldston, Zach Hess, Sydney Cutzpel, Jordan Lane McCaskill, Alana Pullard, Daniel Thim, I learned how to pronounce their name, I forgot, Jenna Van Eslander, and Charles P. Way. It is currently in Boston, which is where it started, which is really fun. They have made changes since Broadway, but there's some good changes. What do you want to say about the tour?
I do recommend going to see the tour, because it is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
You will cry.
I love crying.
I cried like 7 times seeing that show. Like, let's be honest.
I got too immunized. I would cry after the show because of other stuff going on in our trip to Chicago. But I could not cry during the show. No, I cried one night during Predator.
Like Heidi Blickenstaff singing Forgiven, like I bawled.
Oh my God.
I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah, my friend loves Heidi Blickenstaff and MJ, and so whenever anything was going on, she would squeeze my hand to the point where I'm pretty sure my hand was bruised and my bones were broken.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And apparently, while she's sobbing and squeezing my hand, apparently I was breathing loud. And I'm like, I'm breathing loud because I cannot feel my hand. I'm in pain here. Towel, I have no hand anymore. I actually had to get it amputated a week after leaving Chicago.
Oh.
But like, actually, no, I'm lying. Am I lying or am I acting? In September 2022, they had talked about Jagged Little Pill going to West End. And then they had taken the post down. But if you look on their website and sign up for their newsletter, you will see that it is still coming to West End, just probably not as quickly. And can I say, hopefully they wait a little bit for it to go to West End, for me to like, I mean, number one, get older so that I can play. Unless they want to write in the character that me and my friend had created just so that I could be in the show. Because it's a pretty solid character. Or why don't you just add like a child playing in the swings for like one scene? Cast me, please. I'm ready to start working. I know how to swing. I'm really good at it too.
Even like the Australian version, like there's so many versions out there.
It was an Australian. There was like this weird fake one in Spain where it was all in Spanish. That was interesting. There's like one video of it online and it's not even a bootleg. Yeah. It just existed. But the minute it comes to West End, I will be sending in my self-tapes. I will be moving to London if I have to audition, and I will be in the show. Because why not?
Right.
Yeah. Most people would have to do like research before auditioning for a show. Nope, I have the whole thing memorized. I can run scenes playing all the characters all by myself.
It's in my noggin.
Pick a scene, any scene.
Lance's party.
Holy shit, you came. Sup, Frankie? Oh shit. No, wait, I'm not at the beginning. Holy shit, you came. Sup, Frankie? Hey, Bella. Kind of surprised you wanted to come to this. Pick any other scene. I promise I have it. I brought a roadie. It's Don Julio. Oh, where'd you get that? The same place I get my weed and my Adderall. I love my dad.
I love that scene. I love that scene.
I put Lily on a daily basis, especially yesterday. Yesterday was Father's Day.
Even her scene in like the classroom.
That's funny. Legally Bland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, pick another scene. I want to see if I can do it.
Like right before I think it was like right in the middle of Ironic where like Lily was like, you guys should do it.
No, that's Phoebe.
Oh, it's Phoebe?
That's Phoebe.
That's Phoebe? Oh. I can't think of
pick a scene. Pick a scene.
I can't pick a scene. I don't know.
Okay, I'll pick the school scene. That is the world's most depressing bell. It sounds like an Amber Alert. Hey, congrats on Harvard. Thanks, Bella. At least one of us is going places. What are you talking about? You're getting into that art school. Right, like I could afford it. Really, your mom must be losing her mind. Are you going to celebrate at Lancer's party tonight? I get off my shift at 9, but I'm coming right after. We have swim practice in the morning. You want to swim 200 with a hangover? It's at 5 a.m. We'll still be drunk. Like, cast me, please. I'm ready. I might need to learn how to dance better and look older, but like, I'll do it. I'll do anything. And
I know I'm handicapped, but just cast me as Joe. I don't care.
Yeah. No, we figured out it could either be a wheelchair Joe or a flying Joe.
Yeah.
With like a harness. Joe just floats around the stage. You ought to know. You ought to know that Joe's flying tonight.
I made this joke to you like yesterday. Alphaba Joe. It's an Alphaba themed Joe.
I came up with this. You must not take the credit. No, you did not.
I did too.
You said wheelchair Joe. I said no. You're going to be flying around the stage.
And then I said Alphaba Joe.
Yeah, but I came up with it. I'm sorry.
No. So now that we have talked about the show for a while, what do you give this?
Wait, we have one more thing.
Oh, we do.
We have changes made from Broadway to tour.
Okay.
Okay. What's any you know?
I personally and I think it's because I'd never seen like the actual Broadway show. I didn't notice. I've never I don't notice changes. What have you noticed?
So they actually changed Andrew's last name. And so it's like so weird that I was able to catch it, but it's like I know the show so well. Of course, I can spot a change in the rapist's last name. In the original production, his last name was Andrew Montefiore. They changed that from somewhere in Broadway, changed in Australia, and then it stayed with the tour. They changed his name to Andrew Montgomery. Would you like to hear the reasoning of that? Because Diane Paulus and Diablo Cody told me.
What is the reasoning?
Montefiore is in England, it is a Jewish last name. So random. I know it. I was able to talk to them about it. They were really proud of me for catching it. Because who else is going to catch that kind of change? Right. They also had made changes to the character of Joe, because during the Broadway run, there was a bit of controversy over Joe's gender, because at ART, they were a non-binary lesbian. And then when it came to Broadway at the beginning, it stayed, and then they decided to change it. And there were some things said, some gaslighting done, where some of the actors and producers were like, this never happened in the first place. But in the tour, in the Australian tour and the American tour, they did better. And so now it's a non-binary character played by non-binary actors, which is great. Something I've noticed during the tour is they've changed some of the screens. In the original were moved by people. So like during Wake Up, they're standing on the screens and they're spinning. They changed that.
I noticed that because I was like, why don't they have people? It would have been so much cooler with people, but I guess they couldn't do that.
I don't think it would have been cooler with people. I think that was a nice upgrade. But then, so I saw it here at the Pantages, and then I saw it at the Nederlander Theater in Chicago. They had less screens. So the screen number is very, also a fun thing. If you go to Bluetooth in at one of the shows, you just see all of the different names for all of the different like it could be that, it could not be that, but it seemed to be that because it was like LCD screen.
And then the band too, I noticed this, like instead of it being like right behind them,
the platform,
like, now on the platform, now it's like above.
It is like, that changed, I believe, during the Broadway reopening.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I wonder why they changed it.
I think it just worked better. No, they changed that earlier on though.
Okay.
Because in all the videos, it's like up there, but there are some photos of it being down there. Yeah. I love the show so much.
I think it works better. I do agree with you. I think it works better with it like above instead of like
an interesting, here, let me grab something really quickly. I disappear. Where is, okay, I'm gonna do the Predator setup really quickly. This is something I had designed and built out of Legos. It is the stage for Jagged Little Pill. It has lights and everything. Predator is blue for lighting, right? Yeah. So I built all the set pieces in the stage. So like the band platform used to be down here. They changed it, and I prefer the change.
I prefer the change, yeah.
Wait, here's an actual picture of the stage. So like same thing. I'm really proud of myself for this Lego set. And then you can do this Sinner, but it didn't, it's being weird, but that's okay. And so I will put it back.
So, what are your final thoughts on?
I love this show. think we forgot to talk about the book, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this show. It's my favorite show. I have not found a show that I've liked more than this show. I've tried liking shows more than this show. It doesn't work.
Nope, I agree with you.
Maybe Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, yeah. But that's
I don't
also another different episode. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
And other episodes, stay tuned for another on the 5th of July, where we interview what's her name? Like
Emily Nimitz.
So stay tuned when we
will be interviewing one of the cast members from Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies.
Yeah, thank you. I'm struggling. For our Grease of Rise of the Pink Ladies episode, where we interview Emily Nimitz, who played Alice in Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies, which I'm so excited for. I am so excited.
Yes, me too.
I bought a Pink Lady shirt and a Pink Lady jacket. I'm obsessed.
Great. I'll try to wear pink today. Today I had the choker.
I want to be a Pink Lady.
I was gonna put on one of my many custom Jagged Little Pill merch. This one's for my friend. She can't see it yet. Has signatures. It's not done yet though, but I made Bella one, and I've made other ones. So how are we gonna close this shit?
I don't know.
Goodbye. Woo!
Wait, I have an idea.
Okay.
So stay tuned, and where are you? I'm trying to get back to your spot.
Just standing in front of the door.
You're just standing in front of the door. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time on the Part of Your Broadway World podcast.
Woo! I love it so much. Bye.